Hello, this is Joanna the Medium, and thank you so much for coming back. A little bit of an intro. First of all, thank you so much for watching, for liking, for subscribing, and for sharing. It means the world to me. Thank you so much for all your comments. I read every single one of them, and even if I don't respond to most of them because it's not feasible, I do read every single one of them, as well as your emails. If you would like a private session, of course, you can contact me with the information down below. I have included links below for you. These are general readings, so they will not make sense to all of you. They shouldn't make sense to all of you. Also, if one sign does not make sense to you, as in sun sign, listen to your rising sign and your moon sign. And I find, not only from myself, but also from those who comment, that the additional signs tend to paint a more complete picture of what is going on. Many of these messages will not make sense to you towards until the end, third week or the end of November. A lot of times, or in the readings that I did for November, many times the timeline was being referred to down the road towards the end of the month and towards December. So if this doesn't make sense to you at the beginning of November, do re-listen to it towards the end of November, as you will know exactly what this pertains to. Some of the situations will happen, and they won't happen at the beginning. They'll happen towards the end of November, so that way you will have no understanding of it when you are listening to it at the very beginning. October was a little bit interesting. The last 2 weeks for October for me felt very energetically all over the place. I felt like I was being pulled from different directions. I don't know if it had to do with any kind of alignments of the stars or planets, and if you do find it was the same for you, you're not alone. But if you also know why that is, feel free to enlighten me, because I don't know much about astrology. Actually, I don't know anything about astrology, to be honest. And I think that's all I have for you. November seems to be at least the first 2-3 weeks, it seems to be a little bit more chill, as I call it. Certainly a little bit more so than the last 2 weeks of October. So it looks like we're getting a bit of an emotional break, which is always a very welcomed aspect as far as I'm concerned. And I think that's all I have for you. Again, thank you so much for watching, for sharing, for liking, and for subscribing. And without further ado, let's go to the readings. See you soon. Welcome back. This is going to be a reading for the sign of Virgo for November 2016. I had to start over because I said 2017. I'm completely discombobulated this month with these energies. Okay, 3 cards face down. I'll start off with the message first, and let's get rocking. Let's see what happens. What do you have for Virgo? Building blocks are being presented to me in a way that signifies you are in the middle of building something substantial. This is building to do with your work, or you are in the process of building something connected to your work, career, but also something to do with a relationship. I'm going to separate those 2 areas, and I'm going to concentrate on one at a time. With those building a career or aspects around career, I hear that it's been hard for the last little while. I am seeing the number 9. You have been going through I don't want to call it necessarily transition with your work, but it can, I hear the word infer, it can signify transitions with regards to your work. They're saying to me, you've been trying your best to keep up with things, but for whatever reason, I feel like you have not been either able to keep up with what's been happening, or things starting to fall apart. Now, how does this fit with building blocks? New career. Okay, so you are in a process, for some of you, no, he says substantial number of you, are in a process of rebuilding or recreating your career, either how you look at your life with respect to career, or how you look at your career, what career you're in, or job that you are in, or you're creating a new job for yourself. So in simple terms, you're in a process of creating something new when it comes to your career, meaning something that brings you financial abundance. This creation has been in the process for quite some time. And again, I'm seeing the number 9. So you are at the end of your career cycle as you know it. Now, for some of you, you may be at the end of your career cycle because you are getting ready to retire. That certainly can be it. And then I see golf. So maybe for some of you, very few of you, you are in the process of preparing for your retirement, which then will allow you to golf, or golf is being signified as something that you do for pleasure, but that's for very few of you. For most of you, you are in a process of transitions when it comes to your career and work and or job. This isn't the easiest transition that I'm being shown, but let's face it, transitions are never easy, and nor are they ever relatively pleasant. They are what they are. They make things uncomfortable, but we have to go through them, do what we need to do, and then the rest shows itself up later down the road. So have patience with yourself and with where you are at work. Very, very important. I am seeing the letter R, and I'm also seeing the name Rob, Ron, Rodney, or a name that has a letter R, not necessarily the first letter in the name. It could be anywhere in the name. And I want to say it's more so first name than the last name. For whatever reason, if you have a letter R in your name, it could also be Roxanne or other female name. It doesn't have to be male. If you have a letter R in your name, somehow I feel that this message will impact you more significantly than others. You may also have a partner or spouse who is going through this, and there is a letter R in their name, first or last. If this is someone you are with that's going through transition, please be patient with them and understand that it's not something that they've done wrong. It is just a process of something that they have to go through in their own evolution as a human being. For those of you who are going through these transitions themselves, please be patient with yourself, because it's not the easiest transition. Anything about finances, when it puts us in a place of unsureness, is never easy. So have patience with yourself. And I'm also hearing, pat yourself on the back because you've done well. Whether you've done well with your career or with how you're handling things or have handled things up until now, you have done well. And I'm also hearing, you should be proud of yourself, because whatever has been going on, I'm seeing it's like I'm throwing my hands up in the air. It's like, I can't do this. It wasn't easy. This has not been an easy process for you. No question, no doubt about it. However, when you look at your life in spring of 2017, when you look at your life, back at your life, particularly this moment, you will realize what a blessing it has been for you to go through this transition. So I'm not saying that this transition is going to take, 8 or 9 months or 7 months and you will struggle for that long. But what is being said is, when you are in spring or in spring of next year, when you look back at your life, you will understand what a blessing it was for you to go through this transition. So that signifies a very, very good outcome indeed. I also hear the words, your spouse or significant other is very supportive of your ways of your What is it supportive of? Decisions. Okay. This is very important for you to know that you have support, and perhaps it's important for you to know because you don't hear it, because your partner or husband or significant other doesn't say it, because they don't know how, or for whatever reason, it's just that's not kind of their nature. You are being asked to remember that they are supportive of you. And for those of you who this makes sense, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, now I want to move on to relationships here. For some of you who are going through changes in relationships, and these are significant relationships, there are some changes on the horizon, and I hear the month of November. Now, I have learned through these readings from hearing from you that when you listen to it at the beginning of the month, it makes no sense for the most part. And then I have people getting back to me third week of the month to the end of the month, re-listening to the message, and they go, oh my God, I can't believe this is just happening. So it will not make sense to you right now. For most of you, listen to it at the end of the month and it will make more sense to you. But there is some significant changes coming up with your, there is changes coming up with your significant relationships. And I'm asking, is it a positive or negative? And I'm actually hearing the word neither. It's just a change in how things are done, and it is to do either with finances, money, how you distribute money, or how you take care of finances with another person or with your significant other. I want to see why these changes are happening. I hear the word change of jobs. So some of these changes will be because a change of job will be coming in November, or there is a change in a job that will be coming in November. But again, he didn't say it's a positive or negative. He actually said it's in neither. So whatever these changes are, they're not going to impact you significantly in positive or negative way. The end result is going to be neutral, but there is some changes. So I'm asking, wait, if it's neutral, why am I saying this? And I'm hearing the words for your information only, or FYI. Oh dear, I love my guides. Okay. I'm asking if there's anything else to this message, and no, let's proceed with the cards. Okay. So I always say, I hope the cards always corroborate the message that has been spoken before, or they may offer a completely different aspect of messages on different areas. So let's see what happens. So the first card is signifying situations that have contributed to where you are right now. And we have the card sacral chakra. I don't get a lot of chakra cards. It is... what am I trying to say? It's right below your belly button. So if you have any knowledge of chakras, this is your seventh, sixth, fifth, and so on and so on. The second chakra is to do with, interestingly enough, vulnerability, but it is and I hear the word sexual. So sexual vulnerability, and it also has to do with I hear the word sexual appetite, interesting, which has nothing to do with the message that was earlier, but also with your sexual organs. Okay, now I want to see why this is. Okay, you know what? I'm going to pull a different card, just a clarifying card on this, because normally I can tune into chakra card, but okay, what is this about? Okay. When I tuned into the card, I heard the word not good enough. And I thought, okay, that typically stems from your solar plexus. But he says, no, something about not being good enough when it comes to your sexuality. So I don't know why this is being brought forward, but if you feel that way, there's something going on here. So we'll go to the next card and see what the actual problem is. But there's an essence here of not feeling good enough when it comes to sexuality or something around your sexuality. So when I pulled the second card, I actually got the Major Arcana card, and it is the Lovers, or harmony in a traditional tarot deck. So Lovers can signify, well, lovers, straightforward. But I look at this card as an aspect of ourselves, which is yin and yang. So coming into balance, yin and yang, our sexual, our femininity and our masculinity coming into a balance where it can be yin and yang as opposed to one being more dominant than the other. And I'm asking, and if you look at the cards, I want to show you this. Look at the colors. There's a lot of orange. Okay, so there's a lot of orange in this card. Lovers, well, typically will signify also sexuality, because when we are in love, we are sexually active for the most part. So there's something being addressed here with your sexuality and something around not being good enough. So you might want to take a look at this and see if that is actually how you feel, because if you do, you are being urged to bring that aspect more into a balance, because it's skewed. So whatever your belief system is, it is, number one, it's not allowing you to feel good about yourself, but number two, it is absolutely skewed. Okay, it's a result of something that you have experienced or seen in your past. So that's very interesting. I'm going to leave that. Now, what is your situation now, or what is the challenge? We have the card called Temptation. This is another Major Arcana. So this is what's going on within us. But this card was shown to me in reverse. Okay? So let me just tune into this card. He's saying to me that it's almost like there's an addiction of some sort that you are dealing with. And in reversal, this card is signifying to me that you are dealing with some addictive aspect of yourself, pertaining to yourself. Now, addiction doesn't necessarily have to mean, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, sex. It doesn't have to be that. Addiction could be to, addicted to a certain way of thinking, addicted to a certain way of relating, addicted to a certain way of feeling. You're dealing with something right now that seems to have the addictive component to it. And I wonder if it has something to do with sex or your sexuality. That's very, very interesting. And maybe you actually are in a process of bringing an aspect of yourself more into a balance by resisting your temptation or resisting your addiction. And if that's the case, good for you. There was another sign that got this similar message. I don't often get messages around sexuality, at least not in general readings, but I'm open to whatever. No subject is taboo for me. Well, some are, but we won't go into that. Sexuality isn't. So if you are resisting some kind of temptation when it comes to sexuality, your own sexuality or sexual behavior, that's what's being signified right now. Now, the next card is an advice card, and also what is possible, what could possibly be the outcome as a consequence of what is happening right now. And we have the card called Interesting Power. Another Major Arcana. You have 3 Major Arcana cards out of basically 3 cards. That's almost unheard of. There is definitely something going on here. Okay? And I absolutely love this card. It is, whenever I see this card, it's just, there's something in it. obviously 8, well, it says power, self-explanatory. This is 8 is power number. It's also to do with Leo, August, power, personality, leader. But the card is shown to be in reverse. So I have to ask the question, what is the advice here? And then I hear the words, do not give up your power. So this particular message with cards doesn't seem to have anything to do with the previous message. Maybe for some of you it does. But it has to do with you feeling powerless. And maybe it's because you feel you are not good enough when it comes to your sexuality, or maybe you have unhealthy behaviors when it comes to sexuality, but the overriding factor is there is an issue with power with you, lack of feeling powerful. I don't mean the power that says, look at me, I'm powerful, ego power. No, I mean the quiet, humble power. And yes, power can be humble. That's the power I'm talking about, the inner power. And again, he's asking me to look at this card, and you are being urged to bring your self into more of a balance, your femininity, your feminine side and your masculine side, to bring it more into a balance. And it's shown to me that there's a struggle going on here. There's definitely a struggle with either feeling lack of power or power struggles, and it's to do with something to do with sexuality, or feeling good in feeling a certain way in sexual relationships. Either there is a dominating factor going on or something there. I can't quite pick up what it is, and I also feel that it's for not a whole bunch of you, that it's for very selected few of you. So if this makes sense to you, fantastic. It is a general reading, but there is something specific here for whoever you are. I'm hearing that when you were young, if this relates to you, you felt like your power was taken away from you. And whether it was taken away from you because something happened to you that was sexually oriented when you were young, or you saw something, or you experienced something. Something happened when you were very young that has brought you to where you are today and made you struggle with whatever is happening. This is very sexually oriented reading. That's very intriguing to me, because I'm picking up nothing else here. Sexual and power struggles, but power to do with sex or sexuality, inner power struggle. Maybe you are trying to figure out who you are. Maybe you are trying to figure out your sexuality, and maybe that's part of it. And you're being asked to bring back your power, to accept certain aspects of yourself that you have been pushing away. Maybe that's what that is, which is also yin and yang, coming to more into balance. And I feel I'm going to leave it at that. I hope this made sense to you. Very different reading, at least with the cards. So for some of you, maybe the first part made sense to you. And the second part, maybe you have a partner or you know someone who's dealing with this. Though that would not be too common occurrence, but it's possible. And for whatever reason, that is being brought forward. If this does make sense to you, and if you feel inspired to comment, I would love to read it. I read every single one of them, no matter what they are. If you would like a private reading, you can always reach me at the information down below, or there's a link for you to book by yourself without reaching me first. So that's more convenient. I thank you so much for watching, for sharing, for liking, and for subscribing. It means so much to me, for you to watch this and comment and subscribe. It's truly been a total blessing. I do this basically because I do this for you. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. Wish you the best month of November. Take care of yourself. Please be patient with yourself. And I look forward to seeing you again in December. Bye.